Yo, today I'm going to talk to you about two kingdoms. And I don't mean two kingdoms relating to a monarchy or royalty. I'm actually talking about a website created in 2016 called The Story of the Kingdoms of the Moon and of the Sun, created by Pierre, Hermé, and Nicolas Buffe. Now, stylistically, one may easily group Nicolas Buffe's project into graphic narrative. I say Nicolas Buffe solely because he's the one who actually did the artistic side of the project. Now, let's go to the first page of this website and see what it has to say. On the first page, after you select a language and then click the Start the Adventure icon, the website brings the user to the following page. A white circle with an arrow pointing down lies in the center of the page, the text above it reading, "Drag the button to continue." From there, the user makes use of the button dragging from that point forward to learn of the narrative, which is a tale of two kingdoms. Nevertheless, though, what one may come to see as they go through this digitized story, they'll find that it contains many elements new to the medium that is graphic narrative, which leads one to even question whether it may even fit into another category, like video games, or stand alone itself, apart from any categorization. The reason I say this is because when one completes the first chapter of the story, they will find that Buffe incorporates animation, music, and video game-like content the whole way through, along with an interesting blend of manga and French styles of illustration. Now that all may be cool and awesome and fun, but what's most interesting about this narrative is the fact that it was just never finished. That's right, the narrative remains incomplete as of 2016. Still reading to be continued as the user drags the circle icon at the end of the first chapter. If one ventures to the YouTube page for Maison Pierre Hermé, one still finds trailers for the two coming chapters, both of which were set to launch on the 4th of October 2016. So then, what happened? It's not exactly clear what happened with the cessation of the project. There aren't any indications on social media accounts, there is no information online, and there aren't any articles regarding the halt, but certainly something that we can infer from a deeper analysis of what is offered from the website is that this almost positively took place due to a lack of funding. It's certainly possible that Nicolas Buffe is just a few years late in his delivery, but it's definitely more easy to believe that funding may have been halted or disrupted for this project, and likely many other types of interactive and digitized graphic narratives similar to a story of the kingdoms of the moon and of the sun. And that leads to a further contemplation on lack of funding in graphic narratives themselves. Many comic or graphic narrative creators generate their income through publishing in comic books, newspapers, or generating revenue online through advertisements. Having said that, it seems to be that capitalism is what limits one's creative freedom in this sort of environment. Because it seems that Nicolas Buffe would not be able to complete this project had he not been partnered with Pierre Hermé. Now, Pierre Hermé actually happens to be a famous French pastry chef. As one will find when traveling to the About page of the website, the project was privately funded by Pierre Hermé without his creative involvement. This leads one to realize that, although Buffe did have creative reign to make what he wanted, its only purpose was as a means to help Pierre Hermé sell themed pastries and dessert. And it's comprehensible to say this, considering that, unlike most online graphic narratives, there are no advertisements across Buffe's website for other commodities, other than links to buy goods made by Hermé, the funder. In saying this, one may comprehend that the reason there are few or no other examples of this type of mixed media graphic narrative is just purely due to a lack of creative investment and artist freedom, something solely taking place due to capitalism's invasive need for art to serve as a means of commerce. Now, I say all this because, though an advanced project, it does not seem all that remarkable for Buffe to be one of the few individuals capable of advancing the graphic narrative. Ferguson's documentary, Everything is a Remix, states, "We need copying to build a foundation of knowledge and understanding." That being said, Buffe's plotline is a simple and effortlessly replicable story seen countless times through history and will continue to be replicated with new and discovered media. It is undoubtedly a narrative. The use of the word story in the title certainly defines itself as a narrative. In H. Abbott's book, The Cambridge Introduction to Narrative, narrative is defined as a representation of an event or a series of events. Buffe's project shows that there is the kingdom of the moon, ruled by the queen and 2 daughters, and the kingdom of the sun, ruled by a king with 2 sons. The story itself establishes the parents' concern for the well-being of their kingdom, given an uncertainty toward their prospective heirs, their children. Now, in the first chapter, the only chapter, we come to find that there is some sibling deception going on amongst the 2 brothers, where one of the brothers is trying to deceive the other one so as to get royal power over his father. As one may comprehend, plotlines in various media involving sibling deception for inheritance, especially in 1 or more family units, have been replicated time and time again. An easy historical example of sibling deception in the quest for royal power can be found in Shakespeare's play Hamlet. Though there are a few differences in plot, one can see many instances of similarity between the 2 stories. Hamlet's uncle murders his brother, the King of Denmark, in order to seize power of the throne and marry Hamlet's mother. Even further, a more recent form of resemblance in storyline in recent culture would be the siblings in the HBO television show Succession. Each member of the multi-billion-dollar family-operated company seeks to work against one another so as to achieve power and financial security over their father. So, what about this is important? The main takeaway from this is that Buffe's project, though unique and fun in its own right, isn't exactly remarkable. Yet it exists due to the fact that it was a tool for marketing pastries. What needs to be realized is in order for complex and new interesting graphic narratives to be taken into the future, there must be further investment in the arts. Or we could always do a violent proletariat revolution against the rich who control what and how art is produced. But you get what I mean. Thank you.